This is Julia with iCadenza, and I'm here with Jon Ellis following a wonderful OperaWorks fundraiser here at Vitello's Italian Restaurant in Studio City. Hi, Jon.
Hello. It's great to see you.
It's wonderful to see you too, and I wanted to talk to you about your experiences with OperaWorks. You first did OperaWorks about 10 years ago, I understand.
I did, with Christina Driscoll, who you saw in the performance this evening and spoke to earlier.
That's wonderful. Well, so now you're up in the San Francisco area and you're singing roles, auditioning for more roles, and teaching as well. Can you talk about your, what motivates you as you pursue this career? It's sometimes an up and down kind of career, and you seem to really stay at it no matter what. What motivates you?
It's just an inner passion I have for performing, for telling stories to audiences, for taking people on emotional journeys, trying to get them to feel comfortable exploring emotional places that they may not feel comfortable in everyday living, but knowing that in a performance you can take them and explore these things and then bring them back. That's
wonderful. And do you have any favorite roles that you've done or haven't done yet?
Oh, lots of favorite roles. Particularly, there are a number of Verdi roles that I'd like to do. Otello, I've done chunks of, and Aida. There's a possibility of doing Forza del Destino later this year as a role I've wanted to do for a long time, Don Alvaro. So, I don't know, Cavaradossi and Tosca is a fun one as well. So.
Those are some pretty hefty roles right there. That's it's a fun list. So talk about your teaching a little bit. How has your experience, both at maybe your experience at OperaWorks inspired your teaching a little bit, or just your general experiences as a singer, as a working singer? How has that affected your teaching?
Well, I often find in my life and in my singing career that I start to sort of gravitate in certain ideas and certain exploration, and then I find a program that gives me words to be able to express those kinds of things and be able to codify it in a little better way and maybe sort of synthesize it in a way that's more accessible for people to understand. And OperaWorks has definitely infused my teaching career with lots of different kinds of creativity and craziness. I've always been adventuresome in my teaching and will try anything to get a student to move forward and take risks and to find their own voice and their best voice, their best performance. But OperaWorks has given me ways to get there much faster. It has given me tools to be able to tap into the performer's own creativity so that I'm not telling them, oh, well, you have to do this, you need to raise your hand here, you need to have this expression on your face, and this is really how the character goes. But to be able to help give them the tools so that they can create their own character. So the character comes from within, but it makes sense in context of what they're doing, and also reads to the audience as a performer, and so that they understand how it's reading. So oftentimes as performers we think we're doing something that reads to the audience, and then we discover that that didn't really tell the story that I wanted to say. So OperaWorks gave me a whole bag full of tricks and tools in terms of teaching people how to communicate to the audience and still be able to sing their best, not be worrying about their voice, but being able to stay focused in the character, to communicate the story, but have their body free and available to be able to sing their best performance.
And every year you come down to LA in the summer to participate in the OperaWorks non-boring original opera.
Non-boring original opera,
And
absolutely.
every year you get a character, and you kind of step in a couple of days before the performance and just do that.
Yeah, that's one of the benefits for donating money. So I encourage people to donate to arts organizations all over, and definitely OperaWorks, because we do need to train a new generation of singers. It's a complex business, and it is a business, but it's also, we are so inundated now with media and the ability to see people up close, to see characters up close. We have movies and access to things like we've never had before. And so opera needs to also be upgraded and be done in such a way that the stories are told in a way that can be accessible to modern audiences and and I think that OperaWorks really helps that effectively in dealing with the singer and performer as a total being, not just, oftentimes the programs deal with just the voice or deal with just acting, but OperaWorks integrates all different kinds of things, and they don't necessarily deal with the voice in terms of vocal technique as a lot of programs do, but a lot of vocal issues are helped by the way that you deal with other issues in your body and how you're using your body, through the different avenues of yoga and Alexander and acting, and just being able to know who you are as a performer and to have fun. Oftentimes we get so involved with academia that we forget that we got to this business because it was fun to begin with.
Right.
Singing was fun. It felt fun. It was fun to get up there and tell stories and kind of get out of yourself for a little bit. But back to the summer program, that's one of the benefits from donating, is that I have an small little part in the shows, and sometimes they get expanded, sometimes not so much. But it's always an interesting challenge, and it's fun to come and be involved with the next group of performers and to be able to share some of the things that I've learned in my own experience. And I'm always inspired by seeing a whole new group of young singers really taking the risks and stepping out there, and I get excited because it's like opera's going to go on.
That's right. Well, you mentioned donating, and you actually have established the Jon Ellis Scholarship Fund at OperaWorks. Can you actually talk about philanthropy in the arts a little bit? Because a lot of people say, there's homeless people out there. There's so many other causes that are in such more immediate danger than the performing arts. Why should people give to the arts?
Well, the arts are an integral part of our lives. I mean, I don't think that we necessarily see that in terms of giving these days, because there are so many other things that seem so urgent. And not to say that they aren't urgent. I mean, when you have an earthquake and people are starving, those are things that you should be giving to as well. But the arts have an opportunity to speak to our souls, and there are young kids out there whose inner voice has to find its forum, and without arts education, without arts programs, without the arts being there, it's difficult for them to have role models, for them to have avenues for expression. And I just, like I said earlier, I think that one of the things that we do in theater is that we take people on emotional journeys, that we give them the safety and the courage to explore different things and possibly release some of the emotions of the day, to have fun, to have a laugh, to be able to cry and let that energy go. And I think it's very important. And, people think, oh, well, I don't have a lot of money, but you really could just send in $5 a month or $10. It's a latte or something.
Exactly.
So, and the thing is, if you do that to an arts organization, and there are enough people that do that, it actually amasses to quite a bit of money. And all arts organizations in this day and age, where federal funding and state funding is being cut right and left, need to have individual donors who are willing to share and give back to their communities. And this is just another way of doing that.
That's wonderful. Well, what do you think about iCadenza and our efforts in helping performing artists establish an online presence for themselves and give them the tools that they need to do that?
I think it's fabulous. I think that in this day and age, having internet access and having a forum for artists to be able to communicate with each other and communicate to the world at large what they're doing and who they are as performers is really amazing. And I just applaud you for taking this step and sort of plunging into the breach where there hasn't been anything before. Because it's not an easy thing to do, but definitely the internet is going to play a big part in the future of the arts, I believe.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time, and I know you have a number of auditions coming up, and all of us at iCadenza wish you the best of luck, and we'll be rooting for you and watching you in the future.
I hope so.
Thank you.
Thank you.